The utility module contains information for the first-time user as well as the seasoned user. I will first cover the options used for setting up a brand new system, and then we'll talk about things you use later on for changing information within your system. To start with, on your main menu, select number 4, Utilities. From the Utility menu, we'll start out with the System Setup. The System Setup menu contains 5 selections. We'll start with number 1, System Options. First of all, you have 9 questions that you need to answer about your system. If your monitors on the network are color, answer yes to the first question. Monochrome monitors may not display as clearly when set for color, or they may not show anything when certain lines are highlighted. Because some states don't let you display the material your patrons have checked out, the privacy option can be set and the titles are replaced with X's on the circulation screen as well as on overdue, fine, and reserved lists. They will be printed on individual notices, however. You usually want to allow storage of MARC records. This will require 2 megabytes of hard disk storage for every 1,000 titles. A maximum fine per book can be entered. If you don't want more than $5 per book, for example, this feature will allow you to set a ceiling on the amount that a fine can accrue. Do you want fines to accrue when the library is closed or on the weekends? Generally, this is a no response. Type in your preference. Displaying the due date when checking out will require an extra keystroke before each checkout. If you don't use a great variety of loan periods, this step can be eliminated by answering no. You have the option of displaying the expiration date of a borrower's card on the circulation screen and on the patron barcode label. The small record is only 5 fields. If you are crunched for space, say yes here. However, we recommend that you answer no and store MARC records, or at least include the subject fields in your records. The next screen gives us our printer setup. The printer codes are preset for an Epson printer. If you're using something else, consult your printer manual for the numbers to enter in here. Press page down for the 3rd page of our system options. This is where you can enter your library name and address. They will appear on some reports and most of your notice. When this is finished, press Escape, and we will select Patron Setup. On Patron Setup, there are 99 possible types which can be defined. Each patron type has 3 fields which can be named, plus 9 privileges. You may decide to make each grade a patron type, each classroom a type, or you may want to lump all of your students together. You can use geographical areas to define patron types, or you can add exchange students, or whatever. Patron types are useful when printing overdues, fines, and reserve reports because certain patron types can then be excluded. Remember, each type can have different privileges in the circulation system. Our 3rd setup option, which needs to be done before you enter information, is Material Setup. The Material Type Setup is the 3rd option which new users need to set up before they enter any data. The material file has 1 field you can assign a name to. We've decided to use acquisition date. Other suggestions are accession number, state database number, or number of pages. The material types are described here. The first 17 match the microlift type setup. We recommend if you add additional descriptions, you leave the standard 17 as they are and add below that. Pressing page down will get you to higher numbers. Remember, you have 300 possible types to use. Let's enter an example on type number 21. Let's say we want to put in magazines. That's our description. This is not a special reserve category. This will be a daily loan, and we will let magazines go for 7 days. There will be no grace period. We will allow them to be renewed once, and our fine will be 2 cents a day. You may describe other material types, including special reserve types, using the same procedure. Update notice messages is a new utility on version 3.0. When notices go out for overdue books, fines, or reserves, a standard message can be added. This is where you customize that message. You may write separate messages for overdues, fines, and reserves and change them periodically. Location setup is another new feature and the last item that we'll talk about under System Options. This feature is for districts or branch libraries that use interlibrary loan. This setup tells the computer which library a particular material belongs to. This requires district-wide planning prior to assigning barcode numbers to each location for books at that school or branch. A 14-digit barcode will contain the item number plus 4 digits for location. This screen is asking you to enter the 4-digit code for your location. We aren't using them in this demonstration, so we'll press Enter. We're not going to be using the 4-digit barcode, so we will select number 2 for barcode range. Now the range of barcodes that will be used for each library can be entered. You will only use this if the district has assigned unique barcode number ranges for each school. In this example, 10,001 to 30,000 has been assigned to Maplewood Junior High, and 30,001 to 45,000 has been assigned to Sunset Elementary, and so on. If everyone is using the same barcode number range, you do not have to do anything with location setup. Just leave it as it is. The circulation module needs to check the calendar for calculating due dates, fine amounts, and expired cards. So before you get started with circulation, you need to do Update Calendar. This is the second option on the utility menu. After selecting Update Calendar, you need to select a year, such as 1990, and then tell the program when your library will be open and when it will be closed. After those questions are answered, then you can select a month and go through the calendar and individually select open and close days by pressing Insert for a closed day or Delete to open a day which is already closed. Once this has been set up, your system is ready to do circulation. Making a microlift disk will allow you to share information with other media centers or transfer records to other locations. The data is stored in a microlift diskette in a file called ibm.fil. Once the disk is inserted into your computer, you can begin selecting which records you want to transfer. You can either save the record with your existing barcode, or perhaps the other media center wants its own barcodes. In that case, press R. Then you can write in a sequence, or you can write records individually. Now let's look at writing records individually. Again, we'll select an index. Let's try author this time. And let's look at the author Pocell. A tag display of a book by Elsa Pocell appears. By pressing the page down key, I can continue looking at records by Elsa until I find the one that I want to save to my diskette. In this case, I'm looking for the True Book of Elephants. When it appears on the screen, I press S and tell it how many copies I have and the barcode number that I wish to save it to, and it will then transfer it to the disk. So records can be transferred individually by previewing them or by writing in a range in a batch mode. The status screen gives you information on circulation statistics, the number of materials and patrons, and is always available for display. It will give you the program version and various up-to-date information on what is going on with your system. The Clear Data feature should be used at the end of the year for clearing out totals or resetting information to zero. This is option number 5 on the utility menu and should be used with care because it does erase data. Under Clear Usage Totals, we have several sub-options. One is the ongoing checkout count. This is the period-to-date circulation total count, which is displayed in the lower right-hand corner of your circulation screen. It can be reset to 0 without losing any of your circulation records. The ongoing fines total is the cumulative amount paid on fines. It can be reset here without losing records of those who currently owe fines. The monthly usage totals are stored for each month. They should be cleared once a year before that month rolls around again. Otherwise, the current year's totals will add on to last year's. You may clear them one at a time or all at once by selecting Clear All or Remove All. Once this is selected, you highlight Continue and press Return, and then the usage for each month will be cleared. Deleting all patrons, deleting all checkouts, all fines, reserves, the lost file, deleting all materials, and deleting all calendars will give you one chance to change your mind. Once this process is started, all of your patron data will be deleted. Be careful that you don't do this accidentally. Sort data is another option which can be used to create a user-defined index for your system. This is option number 6 on the utility menu. You may store one index or one sort for your material file and one for your patron file at the same time. Whenever you wish to change your existing one, you will have to erase your current sort to build a new one. You select 1 to 3 keys to use. Creating this index takes time and must be the only program running on the CertCat system when you're on a network. You should plan on doing it overnight. In selecting your keys, you have choices of 1, 2, or 3 items. If you're trying to do a shelf list order, you may select call number for your first key, author for your second key, and title for your third key. Now, I know that I'm not going to delete my current sort, so I'm not going to actually build a new one, but this is the procedure you would go through to set it up. Statistics is another program that compiles an index for use with the reports. This is number 7 on our utility menu. If you include publishers along with your call number statistics, it will take a little longer to create, but you will have more information for your reports later on. The program just starts running and starts compiling, reading your records and compiling the information, which it will then later use for printouts. Again, this takes time, but other functions can run concurrently. If you do need to interrupt it, press Escape, and the program will stop, and you can come back and continue at a later point. Making a patron disk allows you to transfer all or part of your patron names to a diskette and then send them to another system. This is option number 8 on the utility menu. To start out with, you'll need to insert a formatted disk in drive A. Then you may download all or part of your patron records. For example, you could transfer all of your 6th grade files to the diskette and then send the disk over to the junior high so that the incoming 7th graders' names would not have to be typed into the system over there. Once the range is selected, the records will be transferred to the diskette. This procedure runs fairly quickly and will definitely speed up the clerk's time because they will not have to key names in again. There are 7 options which need to be set up before running your online catalog. These are under the Catalog Utilities on your main menu. Under Catalog Setup and then Catalog Options, you need to answer these questions. Do you want the ability to use keyword search when you're in the online catalog. If you answer no, only the simple regular catalog search will be activated. If you say yes, both the regular catalog and the keyword search will be available for your patrons. Do you want the ability to search keywords in note fields? If you say no, then keywords will only come from the titles and subjects. When a patron asks the system for more information on a material, do you want to see the card image displayed in either the keyword search or the regular catalog search? If you answer no, you will see the information in a detailed material screen. Do you want to include the note field when you print a bibliography? Answer yes or no. You can limit the number of keywords the system includes in a search. Our demonstration in the online catalog module used 3. You can also choose 2 if you want to simplify the process for your patrons. You can also limit where the system searches. A search can be limited to certain reading or interest levels or material types. If you answer yes, then you will need to enter the ranges that you want to use. This can be changed from time to time by the media specialist to have the catalog displaying specific information for certain groups of people. Keyword sources is a new option on version 3.0. The media specialist can define additional tags where keywords can come from to help her patrons find more information in the online catalog. The screen gives you the flexibility to tell the system to dig deeper to help your patrons find what they want. It gives you a simple method for designing keyword search procedures. Do you want to search for a title only, or would you also like the search to include subtitles? A word of background. When data is originally entered into your system, it is accepted using the standard mark format. As a result, the tag subfields are already defined as preset numbers. To see what these tag numbers are, press F1 for help. You can refer to this list for the correct tag numbers. If you would like to have added entry titles included in your keyword list when title searches are made, then you will need to add 730 as one of your tags and 440. On this screen, we've added the tag 440 in subfield A and 730 subfield A and 830 subfield A. You can do the same with authors and note fields and subjects if you would like to include more than just the basic tags, having keywords come from more places. Reading level and interest level are optional. If this information is in your records, then you can indicate the tag number where that information is. The program will then build keywords from the reading level and interest level tags. When you are done, the program will ask you if you want to change or save your changes. Answer yes. And at that point, you will have to rebuild keywords so that the system can read the new information you've put in and pull keywords from all of your new tags. When you find keywords that are misspelled or words that don't make any sense, you can use the Keyword Browse feature to disable these words. This is option number 3 on your catalog setup menu. Let's look up when. In looking through our list, we notice that WHER is a word which is in use. It means there's a keyword built on this one. But this is a non-English word, so we decide to disable it. We will press F5 to change status. It will ask if we are sure. We'll say yes. And then it will change it so that that word is not used. In order to bring it back and change the status, if we decide we did want to use it, we can say yes. It will say in use, but at this point, it is not linked up to any records. To take it out of use, you just simply change the status. To put it back to in use, you then also have to rebuild keywords for the program to link it up again. The Keyword Rebuild utility allows you to rebuild all the keywords in your database. This needs to be done if your file becomes corrupted for one reason or another. However, it does take a long time and must be the only job running on a network. So plan on doing it overnight or over a weekend perhaps if you have a very large database. Once this is selected from the menu, you have one chance to change your mind. If you decide to reconstruct keywords and answer yes, it will immediately erase all of your current keywords and start rebuilding the whole database from the beginning. It rebuilds in call number order and puts information on the screen as to where it's at, so you can judge whether you're at the beginning, middle, or end of the job. You do not want to interrupt this while it is running, if you can avoid it. But remember, this must be the only job running on a network. You cannot be circulating books or have patrons doing online catalog searches while this is running. The keyword update is a new routine that will build keywords only from data which has been changed since your last rebuild. This is option number 5 on the catalog setup menu. And when you start it, it begins working immediately since it knows which records have been changed. It's also an efficient way to add keywords to your system from data that was uploaded by disk. When records are uploaded from disk or added from the keyboard, keywords will not be built on this new version of the program. The program will automatically index on barcode, title, and author so that records can be looked up under regular catalog search. However, to find them under keyword search, you will have to come in and run this routine called Update Keywords to have your keywords built. This will affect new records and ones which are edited or changed through keyboard editing. There are 3 reports that you can have printed from your catalog utilities. After selecting catalog reports, you will see that you can get a list of materials with subjects, a subject list, or a keyword list. The subject list will show the subjects in the database and the number of times that they occur. And the keyword list gives you a hard copy of all the keywords, where they come from, and the number of times they occur.